Hello, checking in with, I'm up to about 81%, or I think it's just about to start November the 1st, in the future home of the living God, the future home of the living God by Louise Erdrich, um, which, um, yes, so we went from it being kind of funny, this girl who had a cedar rainmaker who'd been adopted by a white couple, very kind of very Buddhist, kind of left-leaning white couple, um, gone to see her birth family. Um, Suddenly shifts into kind of a apocalyptic novel, in that she's pregnant, and it comes out that basically evolution is turning backwards, and uh, people stopped giving birth, and or what they're giving birth to is completely different, and we've very much shades of The Handmaid's Tale. A theocracy has set up in large swaths of the United States, and are rounding up all the women. And for the first part of the book, Cedar is hiding out with Phil, who she describes as an angel at the beginning, but then it turns out is a guy she met at her church, um, kind of play where he played a church. He played an angel, and they're hiding. Her having, yeah, her, and they're hiding, and until one day they swoop her up. We have a big section of her in the hospital with all these really forcefully smiling people. And I mean, even the person who picks her up, very forcefully smiling, pleasant people, which is like either you're really, really dumb or you're really, really fucking evil. And kind of going for the evil on a lot of these people, some of them more evil than others. They do escape. Cedar's birth mother is able to get them out. It turns out that maybe Phil actually did give her up, but we also learned that Phil probably got swooped up because he was bouncing back between her and a church, a kind of a is it a church basement or some basement, where he's hiding three other pregnant women, and they swooped him up and they tortured him until he gave her up, which is like his body was going to do that. So there's some conflicted feelings there. But yes, they escape. They have to. A nurse discovers like all their rope that they were braiding from blankets. Um, Her and her roommate, who is she thinks of as the ninja nun. I think ninja nun for the first, but an Asian woman who won't speak until at the very end, where this nurse discovers the thing, and the ninja nun puts a loop around and chokes her, and it's like she's struggling. It's like, give me help, give me a hand here, and it's Tanya, and she's been here for like generations upon her family has been here for generations upon generations. She was about to say longer than your family, but then it's like, oh wait a minute, you're native, so no, skip that particular riposte. Um, they get out. Tanya gives birth. It's a stillbirth. She gets to go off and have, I guess, a normal life. She wants to go meet up with her husband. It turns out they had an agreement they were going to stick by the house if they ever got separated. That happens. She goes off, um, and now they're they get taken north, to back to the reservation where the native peoples there are reclaiming their land, and they're like, okay, we're not going to reclaim all our land. We're not going to do this in Ontario and Manitoba and stuff like that, which, you know, gives me an idea of exactly where we're talking about and stuff like that, and familiar placing for Louise Erdrich. Um, but We're just going to take back our reservation, the actual reservation that we were promised to begin with, and all the white people have gone back to the cities and stuff like that, so they can take that. So that's where we are at the moment. Hasn't given birth yet. Um, you know, they have some interesting discussions. There's this whole thing of like, are they reverting? Is it a reversion back? They've seen some strange animals. There's like a saber-toothed tiger at one point that she sees eating a chocolate lab. Um, there's some interesting science going on here. It's very much talking about evolutionary. We carry redundancies, old paths that were not taken or failed, or not failed paths, but evolutionarily not successful paths are in there, and there's like that what's going to be born, and there's a question of like, well, whatever is born, even if this child can't speak and isn't that, it still has a soul, it's still a human being. There's very much a religious aspect to a lot of Cedar's thoughts on the matter. And indeed, Cedar sees this life. It's like, this isn't something to be sad about. It's sort of one of these things of like, every birth is the birth of a new universe, it's a new grand creation, and whether that's not, human as it was before, it's still something that it's like its existence, and she takes great joy in it, and its beauty and love, and like she promises her mother, who's like, this is kind of Catholic reversion, going into hell kind of thing. It's like, no, I promise you that when you see this child, you will be happy too. So I guess we will see. This is really a book that I've been thinking a lot about The Handmaid's Tale, which I haven't read for the longest time. But there's very much a thing of like, is this the religious, like, what does this bring? Why this book? Why this in the wake of The Handmaid's Tale? Because, it's a religious theocracy trying to control women's bodies. A part of it is Cedar very much viewing it from a different religious standpoint, one that isn't maniacally trying to control women's bodies, and has maybe a much more open conception of the universe, of it's expansive versus trying to narrow and order and structure and control things. It's like okay, you could be religious but not be kind of that kind of thing. And there's the native thing. There's also the thing of The Handmaid's Tale. It was basically a lot less women were fertile, and it was like seen as a commodity. Whereas in this, it's like you're giving birth to something entirely new, and that's freaking out the people. So there's that kind of a change thing. And I guess, yeah, there is, Louise Erdrich coming at it from indigenous person's perspective of, this reversion, the falling down of society is like a chance for the native people to actually unfurl and be back in stuff. So I guess we'll have to see how that goes, because that maybe gets more dealt with in this section. So in the last 20%, I guess we'll see what's in the last 20%. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.